Good YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So it's a done deal. We will be getting great news as undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford, superstar boxer, will be facing off against two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter, 31 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. Shawn Porter has 12 wins by way of knockout. Shawn Porter is 33 years of age, stands at 5'7" with a 69-inch arm reach. Terence Crawford, 37 wins, no losses, no draws. 27 big wins by way of knockout. Terence Crawford, 33 years of age as well, stands at 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. So Terence Crawford is going to have a 1-inch height advantage over Shawn Porter, but he's going to have a 5-inch arm reach advantage over Shawn Porter, okay? And Terence Crawford is a switch fighter. He switches from orthodox to southpaw very well, very fluidly. He has power in both hands. He's very effective in both stands. This is going to be a fantastic fight. Shawn Porter, 3 losses, came at the hands of Kell Brook. That's when Shawn Porter was defending his IBF title. It was Kell Brook's first title opportunity. And Shawn Porter, he lost the fight. There was a lot of excessive holding on the part of Kell Brook that, Kenny Porter, Shawn Porter, they complained about. But like Shawn Porter stated, we didn't make any adjustments to what Kell Brook was doing, all the excessive holding. We simply let him get away with it, and that cost me my title. Absolutely, okay? That was back in 2014. That was August of 2014. Then he lost to former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. That was back in 2016, June of 2016. Unanimous decision victory for Keith Thurman. But at the same time, it was a very, very, very razor-close thin fight in favor of Keith Thurman. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds separate him, just as it was with Kell Brook back in 2014 when he defended his title. Then he went on a 5-fight winning streak. In that 5 fights, he beat Dana Sugas, he beat Danny Garcia for the WBC vacant title, Adrian Granados, Andre Berto, big names on his way to a unification bout with now undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl the True Spence Jr., who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. That was September of 2019. He lost a split decision to Errol Spence Jr., a very, very close fight. Surprised a lot of people. A knockdown in the 11th round on the part of Errol Spence, and then Errol Spence clearly won the 12th round. So he won the championship round big, okay? That's where he separated himself, and he was victorious, okay? From there, he fought Sebastian Famila. That was August of 2020. Obviously, the pandemic hit. Things started to change. And now he's scheduled to face Terence Crawford November 20th, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada. With that said, this is the biggest fight in both guys' careers. Why? For Terence Crawford, it's the biggest name in his career, okay? It's the biggest lucrative fight. It's the biggest legacy fight for Terence Crawford because Shawn Porter is for sure going into the Hall of Fame, okay? The World Boxing Organization, WBO, better known as, ordered this fight because at one point in time, Shawn Porter was the #1 mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford, and then rising Mexican superstar welterweight title contender Virgil Ortiz Jr., he fought former junior welterweight WBO world champion superstar boxer Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker, and he beat Maurice Hooker, and at Maurice Hooker's first fight at welterweight, and they reversed the rankings where Virgil Ortiz took over for Shawn Porter. So it came as a surprise to many, including Shawn Porter, who tweeted out, this was a surprise. I thought that Virgil Ortiz was going to get the opportunity. Now, what's interesting is that Shawn Porter had been calling out Terence Crawford since prior to him fighting Sebastian Famila and then after fighting Sebastian Famila. But Terence Crawford, he told Shawn Porter, according to Shawn Porter, in a conversation they had, he told Shawn Porter that he has other big opportunities, and if those opportunities don't come to fruition, then he'll revisit the possibility of fighting Shawn Porter. That opportunity he was looking for was 8th division world champion, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, but that didn't come to fruition. He's been seeking that fight for the better part of 5 years. But his promoter, legendary promoter, top-rank CEO and promoter, Bob Arum, he stated that it wasn't worth the money. Okay, he didn't want to put up the necessary purse. He was looking for investment groups to put up the money to fit the bill. He found a group in Abu Dhabi, that was willing to put the bill up for June 5th. But according to Manny Pacquiao himself, the investment group fell out. Bob Arum, top rank, according to Bob Arum, they had the money to do it. They was unwilling to do it. Okay, so now that was the umpteenth time that Terence Crawford was supposed to be, or rumored to linked to fighting Manny Pacquiao. They was actually supposed to fight in November of 2020 when Terence Crawford replaced Manny Pacquiao with Kell Brook, November 14th of 2020. Okay, so with that said, Shawn Porter was seeking that opportunity. He even tweeted out to Terence Crawford, "The fans are hungry for the best to fight the best. Let's feed them. Let's give them what they're looking for." At Terence Crawford, at Top Rank. Terence Crawford, he responded and said, "Now you're testing me. Just stay on standby, and we're going to see how this plays out." Okay? And nothing came to fruition. And now we have the fight. You could even look, it's official on BoxRec. You can look at Terence Crawford's BoxRec. You'll see the fight there. You can look at Shawn Porter's BoxRec, and you'll see the fight right there. November 20th, 2021, Las Vegas, Nevada, Mandalay Bay. So, this is the biggest fight in both guys' careers. Pardon me, Shawn Porter has 17 knockouts in his career. I said he had 12. So, both guys, Terence Crawford would be 34 years old by the time this fight takes place, okay, as well as Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is going to turn 34 October 27th. Terence Crawford is going to turn 34 September 28th. So both guys will be 34 by the time this fight takes place. And what's more interesting, both guys turn 34 a month apart from one another, nearly a month to the day apart, the 28th and the 27th. And both guys have been out the ring for over a year by the time this fight happened. Shawn Porter more so than Terence Crawford, because the last time he fought was August of 2020. It would be a year and a week by the time Terence Crawford fought, because the last time he fought was November 14th of 2020 when he fought Kell Brook. So with that said, they're both have been out the ring and inactive for quite some time, going into the biggest fight of their careers. Like I stated, for Terence Crawford, this is the biggest fight. This is a chance and an opportunity for Terence Crawford to prove that he belongs in that conversation to be considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, or top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And for Shawn Porter, this is the biggest fight of his career, because this is his last opportunity possibly at a world title and on the big stage. If he loses this fight, he's now lost the biggest fights of his career. And again, I keep saying this, he has some big wins in his career. He beat Danny Garcia, Andre Berto, Adrian Broner, Paulie Malignaggi, Devin Alexander. He beat these guys in his careers, right? For the world title, but the guys at the highest level, he's lost. Very close fights, but he lost, okay? And so with that said, this is an opportunity for him to prove to the world that, no, he's not a gatekeeper. He can get over the hump. He can win the biggest fight. And now, in Shawn Porter's case, I continue to say this, it's a catch-22 for him, because if he does beat Terence Crawford hasn't fought a high-profile fighter, okay? He hasn't fought a Hall of Fame fighter. He's admitting of that. He says those fights have eluded him in his career. So he hasn't had that fight, okay? But if Terence Crawford to lose to Shawn Porter, and we never seen Terence Crawford in a fight of this magnitude with a fighter of this magnitude, and he loses the fight, well, then a lot of people are going to say, well, Terence Crawford was overrated. Is Shawn Porter going to get his just dues? either which way, he's going to be a Hall of Famer because now he's going to be a 3-time welterweight world champion, and he did beat a guy in Terence Crawford that would be considered top 3 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, who is undefeated and has knocked out his last 6 opponents, dating back to his last fight at junior welterweight against Julius Indongo, going into welterweight, his first fight at welterweight for the WBO title against Jeff Horn, who had shockingly defeated Manny Pacquiao. Then he beat Jose Benavidez. He stopped him. Then he stopped Amir Khan. Then he stopped Igor Kavalauskas, and most recently he stopped Kell Brook. Okay, so those are the biggest fights in his career. But the biggest fight is Julius Indongo and Yuriorkis Gamboa. Those are not. Yuriorkis Gamboa is a Hall of Famer, 3-division world champion, Olympic gold medalist. So he's a Hall of Famer. But that's about it. Julius Indongo for undisputed, great fight, great win, great accomplishment for Terence Crawford. But Julius Indongo is not a Hall of Famer. So this is a catch-22 for Shawn Porter, because people will say that, but the hardcore boxing fans understand. So for Terence Crawford, this is an opportunity to make a statement, because yes, Shawn Porter has been down in his career, knocked down by Errol Spence, knocked down by Adrian Broner, but he got up, he wasn't that hurt, and he fought. He continued on. Let it be known he wasn't hurt, but he's never been stopped, and all those fights were close. If he could convincingly, decisively beat Shawn Porter, knock him down, hurt him, or even stop Shawn Porter, that would speak volumes for Terence Crawford. That would validate his spot in that pound-for-pound conversation. So, November 20th, Las Vegas, Nevada, Mandalay Bay, Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter, it's going down. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real Dio Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.